preparing. Your meeting is being live streamed. Got it.
YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think
What's
we're up
going
yet.
on?
It still says setting up your meeting.
No, we're up, Sam. Trust me, I've done this quite a few times.
I am now on redirecting live on YouTube.
No.
All right, we're good.
All right.
We're good.
We good, guys?
We're
Welcome
very
to the
organized.
channel. Welcome to the show.
Oh, by
This
the
is,
way, super chat is enabled. So and
Fire.
polls are enabled. So when we do battles, we can do a live poll for everybody
Sam,
watching.
is the thumbnail updated?
Let me double check that right now. But I don't think
Yeah,
we have
we should have
anybody
gotten
in
more
the live
prepared.
yet. No, you can't update the thumbnail.
Look at us. We're talking about thumbnails. Brandon's got Dr. Phil in the background. We're having a good
Daddy
time.
Phil.
Yo, guys, honestly, we're just chilling.
we got Calvin Skinner, the first person in chat. He says the Timberwolves are the best team that nobody's talking about right now. Maybe. In fact, we could just dive in like right away.
I'll tell you why you're wrong.
We've been saying this since Anthony Edwards came into the league. Before he was even drafted, we had a video out. Is he the next Dwayne Wade? I genuinely think that potential is still there. I mean, he had an incredible season last season. Definitely, in my eyes, deserved Rookie of the Year more than LaMelo did. But at the end of the day, he didn't get it. But he showed out, no question, guys. Right? Like this team is definitely moving forwards. Going to be interesting to watch. They're always interesting to watch because they have Karl Anthony Towns, guys. He was one of the best centers, young centers in the NBA, and I think Minnesota definitely can take a boost in the right direction because they've been trending down for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at Dynasty Fantasy Basketball because we're going to start doing that league in a couple weeks here. And why is Karl Anthony Towns ranked like the number 4 or maybe even number 3 best fantasy basketball player? Are the Timberwolves really going to be that legit this year? Is that what you guys think?
Well,
look, it's going to come down to who you if you trust Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell and those guys still. I don't yet. I think, look, they have a good team on paper. If maybe, I think Brandon was talking about one of his videos, maybe trading for Ben Simmons, right?
As a possibility.
Right. That was a move because they most likely, so the Philadelphia 76ers want an all-star caliber player or a potential to have an all-star. Or it could be an all-star. That's why with the Indiana Pacers, they're really pushing for guys like Karis LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon, because at least Karis LeVert has that all-star level potential. We kind of saw that in Brooklyn and in Indiana as well this past season. But with Minnesota, there's also indicating that that they don't want to get rid of their core of Karl Anthony Towns, D'Lo, or Anthony Edwards, which is fair because that's a very good core. You added Ben Simmons to that mix through other means. And one of the trades was Malik Beasley and what's his name? I can't remember. The guy that taught us how to get rebounds when he played for
Prince.
Yeah, when he said, when you the ball comes off the rim and you put 2 hands on it, that's called a rebound.
And Prince is that his name?
Yeah, it's
Taurean Prince. Yeah, exactly. So I suggest a trade like that. Malik Beaslly can show out. I don't know if he has all-star level potential. Obviously, there'll be picks involved. I couldn't add picks in the trade machine because that's just a weird feature.
Mm-hmm.
But Minnesota could be a good look for Ben Simmons. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's not probably a destination he wants to be in. Again, in the video, I kind of like hinted at it. They reported that he wants to go to California. So
yeah, at this point right now, it's almost impossible to cover the Ben Simmons drama all the way around
because now his camp wants him going back into training camp, so that way he doesn't lose out money. So it's all weird. Honestly, they just showed the highlight of him shooting a 3-pointer against like some Chinese basketball team. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was like a big deal.
You mean the team he belongs on, the Shanghai Sharks?
Yeah. No, it's like I think I don't know what team, but like.
Yo, chat is kind of popping off. I see Dylan over here. Dylan B going nuggets. Okay, we can talk about the Nuggets in just a little bit, guys. Don't you worry. We see the chat.
I'm not talking about the Nuggets until Jamal Murray gets back into the bubble. All right, this isn't the Jamal Murray show
Thing is, though,
anymore.
he was playing well. Like it wasn't like it was a huge drop off. He was playing considerably
I
well.
missed Bubble Jamal, Ben.
And I missed the bubble heat, but we're not talking about that.
I miss Bubble Tyler Hero.
I missed bubble Tyler Hero.
All right.
I missed Tyler Hero before we met Kadelis Henry. All right. So what we're talking
Hey, he's
about,
a father now.
Hey,
Let's say
good for him.
congratulations to the boy,
Yeah, good
Tyler
for him.
Hero. He's looking like he's going to show out this year. From the 2 games of preseason we've seen, Tyler Hero just looks like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the second coming of Michael Jordan or something.
White Jesus.
No, but I'm loving the engagement here in chat. Everyone's rooting for their home team, I'm assuming. Here we get some Nuggets spam. We have Mavs.
Yo, in the chat right now, let us know in the comments your team, and we will preview them. Currently, we were going to wait a little bit to get into the main topic, the main event, the banter battle between me and Ben. So stay tuned for that. But we're going to wait to do the main event in just a little bit. But while we're waiting, chilling right now earlier, just drop in the comments what's your favorite team. We can preview them if you want, or give us a team that you think can potentially contend for an NBA championship, which is what we're going to be doing about the Bulls later on. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a banter battle. You don't want to miss it.
Just an FYI, if you're a Knicks fan, don't say anything.
All right, we're not trying to alienate the entire
Straight
fan
up.
base here, but yeah, we do have a little animosity towards the Knicks. That's true. Miami Heat Knicks rivalry goes way back, and we're all Heat fans over here. But let's get into some of the topics that we wanted to discuss before hopping into the big event, the debate. We were talking about this off camera, but the big men position is possibly the weirdest one right now, because we know what point guards are doing. They're just doing pull-up threes, the flashy playmaking, but there's a rift between old school and new school big men. And we were talking before the show about what's better. And I think there's some like differing takes here in the group. And I also want to know what the audience has to say about this. So Ben, Jonathan, Brandon, one of y'all kick this off. I know that you guys have some strong opinions here.
First off, just there's some dude that says that he's a Pistons fan. I'm sorry for you. Are you okay?
Bro, they got Cade
All right,
Cunningham.
if you're
in Detroit, though, how was Mom Spaghetti? That's the more important question. How was Mom Spaghetti?
Bro, speaking of Detroit, we're going back a few years ago. They showed us the value of this position, Sam, with Christian Wood. Christian Wood was one of the best. If we'll add it to the 4 conversation, but he's basically a stretch big in today's NBA. He's really efficient, really effective on the offensive end. Defensively, he's not one of the best, but he still is really efficient at protecting your rim, and he will definitely.
Your rim will certainly be protected.
Yes, no question. Christian Wood, bro. Okay, let's.
Remember,
ignore
guys,
I'm moving on from this conversation. It sounded too messed up.
Yo, vote in
apologize.
the chat what you guys think. What's the best kind of big man, traditional, new school? I put up a poll just now. We already got 4 votes going on. 100% new school. Can I hear an argument for traditional big man, please?
I think when we go to traditional big man, I think we automatically assume just rim protectors.
Name a traditional big man, Brandon. Would
in
he
the
be
league
successful
right now?
No. In past, that is a traditional big man.
Shaq.
Would he be successful in today's NBA?
yes.
Technically, any
Shaq. I don't care if he's a black hole on offense. Shaq will dominate any person in this league, no matter what.
Shaq, the thing is about that
100%
argument. Shaq is an outlier. Like you look at Shaq, you look at Will Chamberlain, you look at Kareem. Those guys are outliers.
All right, fine.
When you're talking about regular,
those
big
because they were bigger than your average center type of centers. But
Yeah,
you want to take
exactly.
a guy like
you're not expecting a guy like Yao Ming to hit like to do what a guy what stretch.
Yao Ming was kind of like him and Dirk were kind of like the prototypical center like we have nowadays.
All right, so now bring it back to
Dirk
to nowadays. Who are the guys nowadays?
The traditional big men.
Traditional guys nowadays.
We got Aquaman, and Steven Adams, Rudy Gobert,
Bro.
Clay Capella, that's really it. I can't think of any other like true traditional center right now in the league other than those three guys. Everybody
Are
else,
we talking about good traditional centers, or we're just talking about just because we
just
could
in
say
general, I
like
guess.
Andre Drummond,
Yeah, you could go Drummond. You go
uh,
Nerlens Noel.
Hassan White. Is Hassan Whiteside still in the league?
Yeah, he's a backup center.
I think Hassan Whiteside's my favorite center in the NBA. What is your favorite center in the NBA? I'm gonna prove it to you guys. Hold on,
Jonathan. Can we mute?
Oh, jeez.
You know,
Okay.
actually, I once, just off topic, I went to a bar mitzvah, and as a surprise, they brought out Hassan Whiteside, and I swear to God, it was the most awkward interaction I've ever had with a celebrity. I got a selfie. I don't know where it is, and he gave me a signed photo of him. It was a very awkward sort of thing.
I think Jonathan has to stay in the Whiteside jersey for the rest of the show.
Oh my God, you can get all of $10 for that. That's insane.
What did I miss?
Oh, geez.
Ben saying you can pretty much get $10 for that jersey. Listen,
man.
I think Hassan Whiteside probably had like the best reason why to get the bag. Like the only reason why he was trying to get the bag was to get his 2K rating up. I feel like that was like the best reason.
It's respectable.
An NBA player has ever said why I deserve the max money because I'm getting my 2K rating up.
At least he was honest.
I mean, listen, I feel like if you play,
is there any
2K,
player like that now?
That's just trying to get their 2K rating up?
Hopefully, it's not Duncan Robinson. I'm sorry, as a Heat fan, Duncan, we love you. You're
the thing
a
is,
great
shooters
three-point
get
shooter.
paid. Shooters get paid.
But is he gonna?
Well, okay.
Is he gonna
are you
do the
that up
Hassan Whiteside route?
Are you talking?
Because of
Are
the
you bringing this
contract?
up because of the podcast that Duncan Robinson just had,
Mhm.
where he was talking about how like the best thing he did in the offseason was get tan, and now everyone's just joking about how he didn't work out in his game, but he did. We see what's happening now in preseason.
Yeah, his first two possessions were drives, notable cutter Hassan, Duncan Robinson, you know what I mean? Like I think he'll do well. I think he's gonna benefit from guys moving towards Tyler Hero more often.
And if he could be better with his hands defensively too, I feel like because he gets those stupid touch fouls a lot. So if he's better with his hand and his coordination, better those dumb fouls, I think honestly, this Miami Heat team is the greatest NBA team of all time. Just throwing it out there as a non-biased.
Okay.
All right.
You know what's funny?
I have to say, no, hold on. Would it be too off kilter to say that this Miami Heat team can be a top 15 defensive team of all time?
Okay, that's a lot more fair.
Okay, cool.
I mean, listen, we gotta in chat. Dylan did ask, since we are Heat fans, who's your favorite player of all time? Heat player of all time. All right.
And it should be yours too, because you passed the ball over, Brandon.
His name is Dwayne Wade. Simple. Dylan. It's Wade County for a reason.
Yeah. Actually,
it will always be Wade County.
The photo that they keep using of me is the only photo that I have is actually me with Wayne Wade. So
let me give you a cool story going back to Duncan Robinson. One of my close friends, he's an NBA reporter. We're not super close friends, but we text every now and then, and he's coming on the show next week, actually. Andres Lopez, interviewer. He interviews professional athletes, and he actually made it onto a clip in Duncan Robinson's podcast, which was really cool. Duncan Robinson, they were talking about this clip because Andres asked him about if his co-host on the podcast could beat him in a 1v1. And it made both of them laugh, and it was a good time. But just thought it was interesting that we have connections in the industry that are part of these big mainstream media events. And that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, no, Andres is a cool dude. And if you guys are interested in hearing more of his stories, definitely check back in next week. We're going to have him on the pod and really just talk all things basketball, some of his experiences. But enough promos, enough plugging future shows. I think
that was not a promo, Sam. That was a story of Duncan Robinson. We are all Duncan Robinson stands here, all right? If you go check out our Welcome to the Channel video, you see he gets a little cameo in there. It's like a Stan Lee Marvel kind of thing, you know. Duncan Robinson will appear throughout this entire channel because at the end of the day,
He's the
I
end
think it
goal.
was
He's
I think
the
it
end
was
goal. He's the end guy that we want to get on the podcast.
I think it was Ben
We'll
that,
retire
or
one
Brandon
after
that wanted to put Duncan Robinson stands on the description of the Instagram page. Yeah, Duncan, if you're watching
I've
this,
been
or
on
if you
that
will watch
bandwagon
this,
since he was in our G League. I'm just letting you know, since he was playing in like
No, Summer
the
League. bro.
Skyforce Summer League.
with
Nah,
that,
even before
I have to
that.
retire the Hassan Whiteside jersey, so I will be back in a few seconds.
Fake
So
fan.
so you're,
Fake
you're
fan.
doing basically what Hassan Whiteside did: get some publicity, then just disappear.
Dude, Ben is on fire right now, and we're about to start the debate in just a little bit. So
The
Jonathan,
banter battle.
yeah, just as people come in and out of chat to listen to what we got to say.
And if you are in chat, we really appreciate everybody tuning in. So if you did hit that subscribe button, smash that like button too. It helps engagement in these lives. We'll do these more often. We're trying to do this every Friday around 4:00. So make sure to stay tuned for our weekly segments and, of course, your banter battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dylan wants us to talk about the Nuggets now. I say we do.
Okay, Dylan, you waited long enough. We bounced around. We made a few jokes at their expense, but we could talk about the team as a whole now. We saw Aaron Gordon working out in the offseason.
He looks good.
I like the improvement that he's had. We know what Jokic is. He's an MVP. He's probably going to be contending for MVP again. Jamal Murray, if he's healthy, he should be the Jamal Murray that we saw in the bubble and the start of last year. It's just what else can that team do to be a playoff team? Because we know what they can do in the regular season.
We're also missing a key guy in that state, Michael Porter Jr.
Yes,
Yeah,
and we'll get to him because he just got paid big money.
I know.
He got paid like top 10 money, top 10 player NBA money.
Like when he's averaging 20 a game, and his game does look improved. Defensively, it had improved. Offensively, it's improving. He's finally put himself in a Nugget system that honestly has shown why at one point he was considered a number 1 overall pick. Before he got the back injury at Missouri and before he had the injuries at Missouri, he was considered a number 1 overall pick. And he's kind of showing why the Nuggets drafted him at 14 or 13.
He slipped so far in that draft. It was crazy because we all knew
I thought
he
the Knicks
was
were
really
going to
good.
get him.
I thought he was going to be top 10 guaranteed, and then he kept falling and falling. And to the Nuggets, they have a back end lottery pick, and you get a guy that's going in a timeline in some kind of multiverse. He pans out to be the guy, and you get him.
Dude, you've been watching too much Marvel right now,
bro. Wouldn't you take that chance?
Oh no, Michael Porter Jr. might end up being. Who else was in that draft class? I don't want to say anything whack before I get my facts straight.
That was I think that was Jaren Jackson Jr.
He's a good player.
The Grizzlies.
I don't want to say he's going to be the best player in that draft class if that was the Luka draft.
Oh, DeAndre Ayton.
That was the Luka draft. I think
it was a Luka draft. Okay, so he's not going to be the best player in the draft,
class,
but he's definitely going to be top 3 or 4.
Was he in that Luka draft? That's crazy.
That's what Google's telling me.
No, if that's the case, that is one of the most stacked draft classes of all time.
DeAndre
Luka, Trey, Ayton,
Jaren Jackson Jr., Colin Sexton,
Shea is in there too. Oh my God,
Bridges.
Sam, you should throw this on NBA 2K and see if they can go 82-0. That draft,
the entire draft class. Bro, I might need to do that. Yo, if the chat wants it, I will do it.
If you want to see Sam
2-0 challenge with just that draft class,
that would be fire.
Shamit, this is a deep.
I'm looking at Shamit's in there
Mitchell
too.
Robinson, Gary Trent Jr.,
Kostas Antetokounmpo.
Hey,
he was the last pick.
NBA champion.
This is a deep draft.
Dude, when it's all said and done, that could rival 2003.
Kendrick Nunn,
That could rival 2003. Duncan undrafted. Kendrick undrafted.
And yet somehow has had a better career than.
And he's 26 years old, 27 years old. That's crazy.
He doesn't look a day over 15.
Two of our top 3 players were not that high drafted. Michael Porter Jr. in the number 2 round player, the GOAT, the Joker. Yeah,
the
I think
number
also
one
another
second
thing to
round
talk
player.
about when it comes to the Denver Nuggets is they did make a very good signing in Jeff Green. Will Barton's still on that team, I believe. So I like what their team has built.
Wait, hold on.
They have depth. They have
Hold on.
depth. Yeah.
We need to pause the show. Appreciate the man, Dylan B. Brandon, you have a super fan. He says, I like the Mr. Beast hat.
Thank you. I picked this up for $8. It was worth the $8.
Stonks. Investment of the year. This guy knows what's up.
It's
To all the tailgates, all the fun activities in college. It is served me well so thus far.
Yeah, but I think it's enough time to mess around. It's time to do what the main event is, what everybody is really here for. What the thumbnail of this live stream is: the best NBA team that nobody is talking about. And we got a heated debate going on here. So if you guys haven't seen it already, we're doing Banter Battles. That's our weekly debate show. And on this episode, Ben is a 2-time winner now. 2 weeks in a row, he's won the Banter Battle. But Jonathan is stepping into the ring. He wants blood. He's out for it. He wants to get what's his. And this is how it's going to work. So I'm going to announce a topic real quick, although I think you guys can already tell by the title and thumbnail. And then Ben, since he won, is going to get 2 minutes to go first and just argue his point. Jonathan gets 2 minutes, and then we get to go back and forth for a little bit in a little bit of an open debate round. And then you, the audience, the band turf, get to tell us who you think won. So the topic is the Chicago Bulls. There's some internal debate going on here with the Banter broadcast. Are they a contender in the Eastern Conference? Can they win the East and challenge one of the Western Conference teams for an NBA championship? They have made a lot of changes in the offseason, but is it enough? Ben, since you won, I'm going to set the timer. Actually, Brandon, do you mind setting the timer for me? You got your phone on you? All right. Brandon set the timer. Ben, 2 minutes on the clock. The floor is yours. Can the Bulls be a contender in the East?
Starts right now.
They've got a very good team. I'm not going to lie. They've got a very good team. However, there are some points, and I've noted them out in my Word document in front of me, that I think are important to talk about. Number one, 3-point percentage, 37% from three. 3 out of their 4 main signings average under that percentage for their careers. They lost Markkanen, who is their 4th best 3-point per shooter, and Kobe White, who was overall one of their better shooters. His usage is going to go down with the signings of a guy like Lonzo Ball and a signing like Alex Caruso. They're an average defensive team. They're middle of the pack when it comes to defensive rating, and that's not going to cut it against offenses like the Nets and the Bucks, especially with a team like Miami's defense going to skyrocket up that list. The strength of the East is bigger. The East now runs through Milwaukee with pit stops in Philly if they can get rid of Ben Simmons, Brooklyn, and Miami. Coaching wise, they've got a good coach. I actually really like Billy Donovan. I think he can do well for the Chicago Bulls. However, I will say something that he will run into is the fact that this is a new team. They're going to be totally revitalized, which usually means at the beginning of the season, the rotations and schemes are most likely going to be clunky, and it's going to come down to player performance to get them over the line. And I think they can do well. It's just seeing how well they can do. Strength of schedule wise, they have the 12th hardest schedule, which pales in comparison to some of the teams they will see in the playoffs, like the Knicks, the 22nd, the Heat, the 24th, the Hawks, which have the 25th, the Celtics, which have the 27th, the Nets, who have the 28th, the Bucks, who have the 29th, and the 76ers, who have the 30th. And finally, in conclusion to everything, as these brilliant points have been made, DeMar DeRozan is not going to be a lead guy. You see him more of as a second or third option on a team. And even when he was a second option on a team, if you even want to say that, they got blown out by the Cavs. And I get it. Look, they had LeBron, but I don't care if you were playing against LeBron in Cleveland or Wilt Chamberlain after his daily menage a trois. You should be able to at least put up a fight against one of the teams, especially as the first seed. The regular season it is not going to matter as much if you can't go anywhere in the playoffs. And that's what we're going to see.
That is your 2 minutes, Ben. That is your 2 minutes.
All right. That was some feisty outing there. He had the numbers to back it up.
All right.
He had the numbers to back it up. But Brandon, I think you and I are still a little salty because we lost to Ben in the first two battles. But now,
Yeah, thank God you all are not voting on this one.
Jonathan, it seems like you already got someone lobbying for you in the chat. Dylan, he's been here since the stream started. Appreciate you. But it's now your turn. 2 minutes on the clock. Go for
Starts now.
First of all, let's go ahead and say DeMar DeRozan doesn't need to be the first option. He isn't the first option on this team. It is clearly going to be Zach LaVine. He is going to be this season's Devin Booker, coming off of an Olympic gold medal. He is going to progress further because his team got better, just like what happened to Booker in Phoenix, guys. When CP3 joined that team, it was a different culture, a different environment, coming off of an exciting offseason. They did show flashes last season of what they could potentially be this season, but they got guys that are true playmakers for this team. You look at them keeping Zach LaVine, Vucevic, Patrick Williams, great defender out of FSU, Kobe White, an extremely valuable young guy. This team is definitely going to be really good. And then you add DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and Alex Caruso, just a few of the names to this team. Yes, the depth of this team could be an issue, but their appeal for contending in the Eastern Conference is so strong that I believe they will be in buyout markets for players like John Wall or other coveted guys in the NBA in the future buyout markets. I really genuinely think this is going to be a defensive monster team. They got guys like Derek Jones Jr. and DeRozan, who are pretty good defenders. Zach LaVine is going to take that next step to become a really good defender too. But overall, I genuinely believe that this team is going to be the regular season Nuggets that we are all used to. They always succeed in the regular season, and I feel like they're going to do that. The Hawks blew up last year. You can compare the Bulls this year to what the Hawks were last year. Everybody's sleeping on them, and they ended up going to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is what I feel like the Bulls team can do this season.
And with 7 seconds to spare, Jonathan makes his point. Two great, compelling arguments there. Jonathan going for the more not so analytical approach, while Ben really brought out the numbers and brought out all the little nitty gritty stuff that we love as NBA fans. All right, time for the first round of the rebuttals. Ben, you will have a minute, and then Jonathan will have his other time to rebuttal against you as well. So, Ben, let me just set this up real quick for you. You have 1 minute on the clock starting now.
Are we just going to forget that Atlanta, who revitalized their team in a similar way that Chicago did, sucked in the first half of the season? Or are we going to kind of blow by that? And we want to talk about CP3 going and his influence. We saw how good CP3 can make a team over his career in OKC and then moving on. I don't think DeRozan, who did the same thing, who probably should have done the same thing to the Spurs and probably didn't, is going to have that same amount of impact. And I like Zach LaVine, don't get me wrong, and I think he'll be a very great player. But are you really saying that he's going to be a good player? And the big thing that you bring up is a gold medal. Christian Laettner has a gold medal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The USA beating over teams that are third world countries don't matter. Like realistically. And look, I like Zach LaVine. I like Vucevic. I don't know how they're going to do in the playoffs because I don't know how they're going to do in the playoffs. Plus, John Wall is not going to Chicago. I'll dead that conversation right there. John Wall would rather go to a team that will contend with Brooklyn, like the Milwaukee Bucks, like the Miami Heat, or the Lakers.
Shush. Your time is up. Your time is up. Jonathan, you have a minute again for a rebuttal, and then we will have open floor debate, and you guys will go at it for, I would say, about 2 minutes or so. But Jonathan, your rebuttal starts now.
So first of all, you opened with this team not being able to contend with other teams in the Eastern Conference because it's super deep. I want to say that Brooklyn doesn't seem as deep as it is on paper than it does right now, because we don't know, with Kyrie's distractions and questions that come into the seasons with James Harden's injuries. Obviously, KD is the best player on this earth, but he can't do it alone. And if there's so many question marks with this team, I would avoid it. Same with the Sixers, too many question marks. the Heat, I don't want to argue because that's a conflict of interest and it wouldn't be a fair point of view. But I definitely feel like the Bucks are the team to beat here in the Eastern Conference. And if there's a team that's built to do it, it's the team that's like built with superstars in their starting five, and their Fab Four is ridiculous with Colby White, Tony Bradley elevating in this roster. I genuinely feel like this team is going to compete for the NBA Finals this season. Ben, I still want to hear why they won't.
All right. You guys, time is up for your rebuttal. Now it is the open floor.
Anyways, I think Brandon had a little bit of technical difficulties there.
Okay.
But it's the open floor. Let it all out. Just try to be civil here. You could all go at whatever order you want. You don't have to take turns like we did for the start of that debate. But again, just try to be civil and don't talk over each other. Let the audience hear what you have to say.
I'll let Ben take it first since I just had my argument last.
All right. You guys, 2 minutes. I mean, it's open floor. You can interject.
I will.
Go at each other.
But I'll let him start.
All right. Your 2 minutes starts now.
I'm sorry, you just said superstars and said DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, and Zach LaVine. Are you okay? Are you sure you're fine? Really?
They're all stars.
Of course, those three players are superstars. You can say they're stars.
Nikola Vucevic is arguably a top 10 center in the NBA.
Players. Superstars are top 10 and top 15 players.
Vucevic is a top 10
on your
center
list
in
that
NBA
we made before we got on here that are
buddy.
on this.
Just because
First
you're
of all,
speaking louder doesn't mean you're speaking
I get it,
smarter.
the distraction of the distraction of
I'll be
Kyrie Irving is
myself.
going to be a lot. However, guess what? KD almost beat the NBA champions single-handedly. We want to talk about depth on a team or whatever. Blake
right.
Griffin, who's looked incredible, is still on that team. Their team still looks good. I think they'll be.
Are we going to have a talking louder competition? Because if then you're going to win this debate. But if we're talking smarter, let me get my point
as I
out.
want to.
This team is going to compete, period. You look at this roster.
I didn't say they weren't going to compete.
Vucevic is
not going to compete.
Vucevic, let me speak. Vucevic.
They'll compete for a seat in the playoffs.
Vucevic is a top 10 center in the NBA. That is a superstar center. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
yes.
Cool.
DeMar DeRozan is a top 10
Brook Lopez
small
a top 10 center in the
NBA. That is a superstar small forward. Yes. Zach LaVine.
Superstar. Bro.
Yes.
Bro, your vocabulary is outrageous. Superstar.
This team, Vucevic is critically underrated. Everybody disrespects Vucevic year in, year out in Orlando. His trade value is garbage, and he landed in Chicago for free.
So,
Vucevic is a key asset to Chicago winning this season, and he is going to prove it. He is going to drop 20 and 20
why did his numbers
and out.
in PER go down when he went to Chicago?
Because there's more weapons. He's been the only man in the Magic. The Magic. He was on a sinking ship in the Magic. Now he's on a thriving, successful team.
Then. So
in the Magic, they were dead
how good he
stats, but
was.
last season,
they
were efficient stats.
All right. Your 2 minutes has been up. Wow. That, first off, Jonathan with the quote of the day. The quote of this whole thing.
Which was?
Don't talk. Just because you're speaking louder doesn't mean you're speaking smarter.
Yeah, we
got to
put that on
Socrates type of level of philosophy right there. I just had to say that is.
Let us know in the comments who you think won. We're gonna put out another poll. But
right now
on
it's
our
50,
community tab.
Right
on
now
our community
50-50.
tab, you can go vote the official winner. We're gonna post that up shortly. We'll let you know when it's up. But Ben, good debates. GG's for whoever wins it. But I definitely feel like I put up a good argument, and you did as well. So good job.
I'm glad we don't have to call each other names off camera now. It was a good argument.
I'm just saying, we put up an initial poll. Ben was winning it, and now
that was also when he was arguing. I was just sitting there.
That final poll is 50-50, dead even.
Y'all,
50% of you guys say Ben's right. 50% of you guys say Jonathan's right. Now we'll leave it up to the entire Banter community. So, go, like Jonathan said, go vote in the community tabs. That way, you guys will be able to decide whether or not who's going to move forward and possibly debate either myself or Sam.
It is a winner stays format.
I'll be honest.
In our Banter battle.
if I'll be completely honest, I think if I win, I might just sit out because I just feel like Brandon and Sam were just too easy.
Buddy,
I don't want to insult
buddy,
my intelligence.
Buddy,
Buddy,
you lost to
play.
me. You
Buddy,
lost to me when
you're not-
we originally did this.
you're not winning.
Jonathan, please back away from the camera. No one
I'm gonna
wants
make
to
a bunch of burner accounts so that you don't.
You're
win.
not winning.
Don't worry, I got you, Jonathan. I got you with my burners.
Preach.
Brad, I have control of those burners. Don't you dare.
All right, boys. It's been absolutely real. I'm gonna hop off this Zoom call. And I'm gonna let Jonathan take over the host on the Zoom call.
Yeah, we
Chat-
still need to talk about Tyler Hero being an all-star this season.
Yeah, chat. It's been awesome. Thank you guys so much for being active. The live is not over yet, but I'm out of here. Peace out, boys.
I gotta say, there has been a debate in the chat right now between Dylan and Addison. Dylan's voting for you, Jonathan, and Addison's saying that the Bulls are a play-in team at best, and no one plays defense besides Lonzo Ball.
That's
Well,
disrespect.
I mean, Addison is going way too far with it.
Let's move on from Bulls.
I'm not losing a voter. So thank you. I thank you for your support.
All right, let's move on from the Bulls conversation.
We should.
Battle has concluded, and I feel like it's in the hands of the fans now. Let's talk about Tyler Hero, guys. This guy's putting on a hell of a preseason. As mentioned before, we're Heat fans. What do you think is his upside moving into the season? And is the sophomore slump behind him? Can he put that behind him and be a true star in the NBA?
Man, I damn hope so. I hope so. I think again, I've always said about this when you're talking about development of a team and all that sort of stuff. I think last season was a write-off. You can't really expect what you can do with what's going to happen. And I like Tyler Hero. I thought he was going to get traded. I'll be honest, this offseason. He's put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle. Man's now a father, which is going to be good to kind of help himself come back to earth at times. And hey, yesterday he put up 24, 9, and 3, which is an insane stat line. And I think he's going to be in contention for Sixth Man of the Year. And a lot of people are going to say he might even lead the Heat in points, but I don't know if he's going to be an all-star. I think also come down to your popular voting and stars and stuff. And I just think with all that semantics, it might not be.
I don't think he'll win, but I think especially with the fact that Victor Oladipo, his timetable is TBD. A lot of people are saying November, December could be as late as January. The timetable for Victor Oladipo to come back, and it's TBD. Plus, we don't know what version of Victor Oladipo we're getting. As Heat fans, I should say, and as Miami. As someone that looks into Miami Heat sports a lot, I would just say that I think it's going to come down to if we're going to do six-man stuff, if we're going to talk about six-man, Victor Oladipo, if he comes back to that Indiana Pacer form before injury, I think he wins it. However, if Tyler Hero right now is really showing that the bubble wasn't a fluke for him. Like this, he could put this consistent play. And yes, it's still preseason, but I mean, it's still something to be hype about. It's still something. They're still going up against, teams that are still trying to play their starters and play their young guys that are hungry. So it's still a bit competitive. It's not as competitive as the regular season. But Tyler Hero has shown that I think with a proper offseason, because remember, Miami really didn't get a proper offseason, or the Lakers. And they struggled through injuries and COVID this past season. And look what happened to them in the playoffs and during the regular season. Now that he has a proper offseason to work out, to put on muscle, to really develop into another player. I mean, we've seen his floater game is new and it looks very exciting. Pull-up threes are still there. The little crossover to pull-up three is still looking a little exciting. Tyler Hero has shown that he could put in the work. And now this Miami Heat team as a whole looks incredible defensively. And if you can get a starting lineup in the fourth quarter, or lineup late in the fourth quarter in a tight game of PJ Tucker, I don't know, Victor Oladipo if he comes back, let's just say, and he's great defensively, or we can throw in, just a bit of offense, just Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero. That's a deadly, not only defensively, but offensively as well. and they're clicking
You
too.
you also see the intensity.
Yo, Ben, get out of the chat, bro. Ben is using
I was
Banter,
using one of my
Dylan.
burners.
Bro,
I've
I
seen
caught
that
him
Ben's looking a
red-handed.
little handsome.
Influencing the vote. That's
I don't know, bro. That's music banter, bro. That ain't me.
Yeah, let's be real. Who controls music banter, Ben?
Let's be
Us,
real.
us. It's under the banter.
No, it's a Ben.
It's a Ben Oldie project.
The Ben
all right?
Oldie project.
Go subscribe to Music Banter, please. We're almost at 100. I believe it. Legit, if hold on, 9 of you are watching. If 4 of you can just subscribe, 4 subscribers today.
You know what? Here, I'll help you out. I'll leave the
Your
link
own
in the
brother's
description
not even
right now.
subscribed to you. What are you doing, Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon.
I'm subscribed to him, but I will leave the link in the description to Music Banter, so that way you guys can go check it out, because Ben does put on some great content out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He is
If you like
grinding,
MSM,
putting in the work.
Even though everyone clowns on him for
Ben,
doing some
Ben,
whiteboard
sell
just
me-
talking about rap music.
Ben, sell me your show in 20 seconds.
bro, if you like music, don't come here. If
Oh, that's great.
if just like legit, these aren't videos to argue. These aren't videos to entertain. They're just videos to entertain. Addison has 4 accounts, bro. Get them on now. Now switch them. Do it. But now, like, it's just entertainment, man. It like legit. I have some opinions and rankings and such. Just take them with it as a fact that I'm trying to entertain. And also the editing is way better here over on Music Banter because I do it. So.
All right. So the Music Banter link is
Why was
in the
there a shot in
description.
that?
It was a subtle shot. It was a
It's
subtle
a
shot.
shot. It's just a fact.
It was a little subtle.
I just pulled it.
But Music Banter is in the
That's
description
music
of
term.
the live stream, guys. If you guys can go ahead and sub to Ben if you do enjoy music. It's pretty much 18-year-old Fantano trying to
Sub to
replicate-
us
I'm
here
not
too.
bro. I haven't done an album review in a long time. Did I do a Donda review? Yes, but that's because everyone did a Donda review.
Donda.
But also, yes, you should also subscribe to our main account.
Yes, just click that subscribe button. I'm sorry for doing
The Banter
Donda chat.
broadcast. I mean,
Um,
honestly, we're 16,000 strong, and honestly, the Banter community has been so amazing. So, honestly, also subscribe to us while you're also subscribing to Music Banter. Go ahead and drop a subscribe and a like.
right,
Too.
also
Would be
in the
greatly
chat-
appreciated.
In the chat, I want to hear your team that's going to do the worst out of the teams that made the playoffs last year. So somebody
Knicks.
that was a really good team that's going to regress, losing their guys. Like, does Kemba Walker really help the Knicks out a lot, or are they still
No.
going to be a borderline playoff team?
I just have to say, no. Also, let's just also make a stipulation: no 9 seed team, like if you play in team,
like
like
a 4th, 5th team or something like that. Like
or
1
no,
through
no,
6.
like because no, I don't think a
1 through
ninth,
6
I don't think a
7.
ninth rated, I don't think a ninth seed made the playoffs. A 9th or 10th seed made the playoffs. So let's just kind of, if your team was a 9th or 10th seed, hopefully they make a jump. Like if we're talking about like the Hornets or something like that, they possibly could. But let's talk out West first. What do you guys think about? I mean, we already spoke about the Nuggets. Let's go to Phoenix real quick. I mean,
Jay Crowder got to get out of them.
are they a team that could still seriously contend and possibly make another finals run?
Yeah. We're looking at this as sort of, the second best team never makes it back. It's not as if they're a bad team and they just kind of luck their way in. I want to see is Chris Paul going to have that same effect, number one, because if it's just going to come down to it, he's going to age out of the league, which is, I don't think he will, but let's just see because we've seen it before. I think another thing is, can Devin Booker kind of step up, because he was someone who was criticized, I think, in the finals. I think this team can do well. I think they made. I'm pretty sure didn't they get like Landry Shamet?
Yeah, they did get Landry Shamet in a trade.
That's a great pickup. I think their team's good. I mean, I don't really see a lot of glaring needs or something that is just so in your face. I mean, maybe an improvement of what Jalen Smith can do. I really liked him coming out of college. as that kind of stretch four. But besides that, I think this team can still compete, especially with the fact that Brandon thinks that the Lakers are going to suck. So
I think
We'll
the
go into
Lakers are
that
a
a little
second round
bit.
team. I think the second round team at best. And their age is already shown with Trevor Ariza. I'm just saying. In the chat, we have Dylan saying the Clippers, Addison saying the 76ers. Obviously, those two teams. I mean, the Clippers have been affected by injury with Kawhi Leonard having what is it Achilles, I believe, or he does have a significant injury. So the Clippers and Paul George is going to have to really step up and really show why he could be one of the best players in the world right now.
I'm excited to see what Terrence Mann can do in that position. If he's
another option, I definitely think so.
It's one of my boys.
Definite jump up from the season.
Terrence Mann, hell of a player, by the way, dude. Hell of a player.
They added Eric Bledsoe this offseason. Not too many other moves. Justice Winslow is another one that was a subtle pickup. But
I like how we're talking about if the Clippers can stay healthy. We've just said Kawhi Leonard and Justice Winslow.
I know, in the same sentence. Yeah. So Clippers for sure. Addison with the 76ers comment. I think so too. Especially if they can't get this Ben Simmons thing resolved, and he does just stay on the roster for the whole season. I mean, it depends if he comes back, but honestly, let's be real. That 76ers team, I think, outperformed their expectations last season. I still feel like they're overpaying a few guys. I mean, Tobias Harris is a key notable one. I think Ben Simmons is also a key notable one. It just depends on what they can get for Ben Simmons. And I think they need to, once again, look at this team and say, how can we best build around Joel? And I think that's shooting and
I
perimeter
think
defense.
They could still somehow swing that trade for CJ McCollum. They'd come out so much better.
But before we do wrap up, we do have one final question in chat. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. I can't. What team is going to have a breakout year this year? Could be a non-playoff team from last year. Could be a team that was a playoff team and looked incredibly better. Obviously, we're not going to be biased and say the Heat. So I think for us, general rule of thumb, any other team besides the Heat for us, because we've already kind of covered that as to why they're going to win an NBA championship this year in this live stream. So before we wrap up, what are your guys' breakout team this year?
Chicago Bulls. What?
all right. We're also leaving Chicago out of this too.
In that lower seed position, if they can really tighten up defensively, if Terry Rozier can still hold that sort of form that he was in, I'd like to see. Sure, yeah, I'd like to see what they can. They got Lauri Markkanen, right?
You know what?
Yeah, he went somewhere else.
No, Cleveland. He went to Cleveland.
I'm gonna take a risk here.
Didn't Lauri Markkanen go to Cleveland?
Yeah, he did go to Cleveland. I'm gonna take a risk here, guys.
But they did pick up Tsunami Poppy, so
I'm gonna go ahead and say the Minnesota Timberwolves. I gave them some gas earlier in this live stream, but I genuinely think that Cat's had enough of losing, and Anthony Edwards in his second year will take that next step into developing into the player that we all think he can be. D'Lo is going to have a great year. I just genuinely think this Minnesota team has a different vibe around it, but at the same time, it's Minnesota. I don't want to bet on it. But they are a potential breakout candidate to look forward this season, potentially popping off.
I do like Ben's take on the Hornets. I am kind of looking at them as a dark seeded team to still make the play-in, but maybe as a 7th, 8th seed. Really quickly, before I say a team that's going to break out, I just want to say a team that is going to regress that I don't think anyone's really talking about is Boston. I mean, they added Al Horford. That's pretty much it. I'm going to say, and I think they're going to take an incredible leap and possibly contend for that 1st, 2nd seed out west. I'm saying the Mavericks. I'm saying adding what they already have with Luka and Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kristaps. I mean, if Kristaps can stay healthy, also adding Moses Brown. I mean, they have shooting, they have defense, They have playmaking on this team. I really like it. I think they could be a dark horse contender for that, a top seed out west. And I definitely think that this team, and Josh Green as well as a great perimeter defender, I think this team overall could really make an impact going into next season. But that is going to be it for us. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I'm
going to take
guys
the
have been
outro.
incredible. Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Boys, this is the first ever Banter show live. Brandon, Ben, it was a pleasure battling you. Brandon, pleasure as always as one of the co-hosts in the show. Show can't go on with what you bring on. Sam, also you left early. Thank you. And myself, thank you for putting up a good debate against Ben. The poll is up officially, so make sure to go to our community tab in our page and vote officially to see who the real winner is of this battles. Winner stays. So will Ben continue to keep the throne, or will I dethrone him? Stay tuned next week, Friday, 4 p.m. We're going to do another Banter show. Make sure to subscribe and click that bell notification to be notified when we do go live. We will see you